Senator Sterle.
Well, thank you, Mr Acting Deputy President. And I rise tonight. I know I've only got 10 minutes, but I could go on all night about this certain incident that I saw on Twitter a couple of weeks, probably about three, 4 weeks ago. And it was a picture of a truck jackknifed on a major highway in Sydney. Now, I'll go back to the exact date. It was the 5th of February 2016. It was a semi-trailer. So, Mr Acting Deputy President, you and I know exactly what I'm talking about, a 42.5... Oh, and you, Senator Nash, fantastic. How many tonnes was it? Got ya. 42.5 tonne semi-trailer. Bogey drive triaxle trailer. And I've great respect for Senator Nash because she understands the issue of road safety and our drivers being fully trained in handling these monsters running up and down our highways. I say monsters with affection because that's what I played with many, many years of my life. Here's this semi-trailer, jackknifed on the M5, I think it was. So I go to the source of the story. It was Chris Reason in Channel 7 had done it. So we've got a couple of drivers heading down the M5. I think it's the M5. Anyway, they get to it and it goes, I'm led to believe it goes under the Sydney airport. There's a bit of a bridge. They saw it. They thought, oops, a daisy, we don't know if we're going to fit. So they pull up. These pair of clowns, and that's the nicest words I can use for them, right? They get out the truck. Then they think, well, we better back up on 3 lanes of highway. They couldn't even back the semi up. They jackknifed. Well, I take it back. One was hiding in the cab like a coward, all right, while the other one was trying to back it up. One bolted. The driver bolted. The news got out there. These two who were employed, and I'm going to get to the company in a minute, to operate a 42.5 tonne rig on our highways, carton freight. They were employed by a mob that would be no strangers to you, Mr Acting Deputy President, a mob from Mount Gambier called Scott's Transport. And I'm going to take 20 steps out to my right and I'm going to go for Scott's. I'm going for them. I'm not hiding behind parliamentary privilege. Now, I'm told that Scott's Transport used to be a very, very decent employer, I'm led to believe, but the company or the management of the company has been passed down to a generation or two. I think I'll stand corrected. Scott's Transport from Mount Gambier have employed 2 Indian drivers. Now, before we all start jumping up and down, okay, foreign workers are always welcome in this country. But they're not welcome, in my view, when they're doing Australians out of a job for less wages and conditions. Now, I haven't proved that yet. But what I have proved is these 2 Indian drivers who denied any responsibility that they should be able to back a semi-trailer. They also, on the news, said, they were asked by the reporter, if not only should you be able to back this semi-trailer, look, a weight of up to 42.5 tonne on our highways, mixing with school buses and other road users, do you think you should know how to uncouple the semi-trailer? The clown sits there and says, no, why would I have to know how to uncouple the semi-trailer? I'll tell you what happened. This is an absolute pox on our system, that 2 foreign drivers have come in to our nation and they're driving 42.5 tonne loaded rigs up and down our highways. Now, for all I know, Mr Acting Deputy President, they could have been doing B-doubles or road trains the day or the week before. I don't know. There was a few bits of misinformation. The TV reported that they were here on 457 visas. I wrote straight away to the Minister for Immigration, and I commend the Minister for Immigration. He got back to me straight away. He's taken this serious, and he said to me they weren't on 457 visas. But what I want to find out, and I'm going to find out as the chair of the Rural, Regional Affairs and Transport Reference Committee, because we're looking into this, I want to find out who these clowns were working for. I want to find out who employed these pair and put them behind a 42.5 tonne rig to be running up and down our highways with other road users when they can't even unhook it or back it. I want to know, were they directly employed by Scott's Transport in Mount Gambier, or were they working for a subcontractor? Or were they working for another company that was contracted to cart for Scott's Transport? And I'm inviting Scott's Transport to come and face us. And Scott's Transport, don't hide. Don't hide, because we know who we are. And I am on a warpath on this one, because you see, you have responsibility. I don't care any excuses. And I want to know from Scott's Transport, who the hell was the client? What was in the back of these trucks? How many trips has these pair of clowns done? Who are they working for? Are they here on some other visa? There is absolutely no way on earth that any Australian politician can accept that we have people on our highways who are not trained. Where the hell did the licence come from? I mean, we used to joke about it in the 70s and say you get your licence out of a weedy packet. I'm absolutely flabbergasted. What I can tell you, Mr Acting Deputy President, I can tell you this. They were licensed in Queensland. So you see, the Queensland government's got something to explain here. I've got heaps of things going through my head here. And I'm thinking to myself, is there something sinister here? Can two peanuts who do not have the skills to drive this rig, unhook this rig, and yet they're licensed to drive this rig? Is there something shonky going on? Is there something overseas where you can go and corruption? I'm not suggesting someone in Queensland's corrupt. Something's gone wrong. And I'll tell you why. I've spent 12 years of my life pulling road trains through this great nation. No one can deny me. No one can deny me the passion that I have to keep our roads safe and to make sure our truck drivers are safe. No one can deny me the anger I had inside me as a family of 3 generations of truckies. And I know the skills that we obtained on our journeys. I learnt at the hip of my father in his truck. Unfortunately, my son didn't have the same opportunity to learn at my hip because I'd hung up the riding boots before he started driving. But I know the training that he's done and all the other fellow Australian truck drivers and the rigorous training that they go through. In fact, there's that many bloody laws in this country, I don't even know why you want to be a truck driver anymore. Yet these clowns are in our country, driving for someone, carting someone's freight, and Scott's Transport has got to answer why the hell. And while I'm on Scott's Transport, if they think they're going to get out of this, they're notorious. They are notorious. And Scott's Transport, you'll have the opportunity to front me and the committee, and you'll have the opportunity to prove me wrong. In fact, I want you to prove me wrong, because your record disgusts me. You absolutely disgust me, and how you're on our highways, you should be locked up. And I stand by that. When you see Scott's Transport's infringements over the last few years, in May of 2014, Scott's of Mount Gambier was fined a total of $1.2 million after pleading guilty to 165 speeding offences just in New South Wales. I'm told it was reduced on appeal to 85,000. The buggers should be locked up. They shouldn't be allowed to walk our streets when they're fined $1.2 million in fines, for crying out loud. Drivers of overhyped vehicles in New South Wales who blatantly ignore the tunnel warning signs face a $2,200 fine and 6 demerit points off their licence. Plus, the truck can be grounded by suspending its registration for 3 months. My goodness me, there's some answers. And I'll tell you what happened. At the end of the day, they have these drivers in Sydney, they're a government organisation, whatever they are, called RMS. I apologise. I don't know what RMS stands for. If someone can help me out here, tell me. Set me straight. An RMS driver had to come out and move the rig. And these pair of peanuts then got in the truck and happily drove off. Where were the coppers? Why weren't the coppers saying, hang on, whoa, just stop right there. You couldn't back the damn thing up. You couldn't uncouple it. We've had to bring a government employee to back your bucket of nuts and bolts up. And the coppers sit back. Coppers can prove me wrong. If I'm wrong, come and tell me. And let them drive off. What the hell is going on here? We have a terrible record as a nation. We kill 330 truck drivers, or 330 people, I should say, are killed in heavy vehicle-related accidents on our highway every year. And we think this is acceptable for 2 Indian drivers who somehow have ended up at the steering wheel, one in the bunk hiding like a coward, behind the wheel of a 42.5-tonne rig, to stranded across a 3-lane highway, and they can't even get the bloody thing back. I'm as mad as hell. And I apologise for my language, because I'll tell you what, it's going to really fire up when I front Scott's. And Scott's, I'll leave you with this, and the Queensland Government, there are answers, there are questions that need to be answered. You can't hide. I'm not going to let you hide. And I've been stewing over this since I first heard of this on February the 5th or whenever it was. By goodness me, it makes me want to put my hands through around someone's throat and actually choke the living daylights out of them. Because I tell you what happens if these clowns go out there and kill someone? What does the Queensland Government say? What are they going to say? Well, we didn't know. You knew. Queensland, they were licensed in your state. And I don't care what persuasion of government is in control in Queensland. I'm going to go down the supply chain. I'm going to expose, and I don't care if it takes every ounce of my fibre to find out who the hell's freight they were carting. And how many times have they carted this freight? And you know what, clients of Scott's Transport or any other transport company that are using these people, I'm coming for you. And I'm not saying it lightly, I'm wound up like a clock. Because I ain't going to sit back where there's a responsibility as a legislator in this country to have that side of Parliament doing everything they can to tear down our Road Safety Remuneration Tribunal. The beautiful thing about this is the coalition senators that I spoke to on my committee are 100% behind me. God help us. You can find a truck driver in this country with one
Senator
phone call.
Sterle, your time is elapsed.